Good morning, everybody. We are so excited to be here with you. As you know, that you've heard all the rumors and they're true. We have the 2023 release for you guys, and we are going to reveal them all today. So stay tuned, hang with us. We can't wait to show you what we've got coming.
Grab your coffee, get your booty comfy, and settle in to see what we think you're gonna love.
Woo! 2023 spring release. We're gonna kick it off with our paint inlay.
Melange.
This is a 12 by 16 sheet size, but it has a ton of beautiful designs. I'm gonna let you take it from there.
Yeah, these are what I think you're going to love about them is that as an inlay, they're smaller pieces, so you can do smaller projects with them because, as we know, the inlays are new and people are getting their hands into them, and some are a little intimidated. So we decided that we wanted to really bring something that's going to be perfect for people to get acquainted with the inlays. But as you will see, we actually have some pieces showing how you can also use them on your furniture in super cute, quirky, fun, that touch of French country way. So we're excited about the Melange inlay.
So here's an example of what Josie was talking about. Like it actually looks absolutely gorgeous on furniture. And you can use it as an all-over pattern because all of the designs work beautifully together in harmony and create kind of an all-over pattern.
Yeah, we love the kind of, you've got almost like a collaged toile. So we chose the elements in such a way that they've got that quirky collage element to them, but they're also, the vintage French country elements, so that they're not novelties.
I am absolutely obsessed with the florals and the strawberries in this set. Those are my favorite things, and there's plenty of those as well, so that's awesome. Here's an example of just using the botanicals across a small piece. And it just, as you can see, of course, we've got the other things up top there too, but you can see there's just plenty of designs to create your large pieces as well.
Yeah, I love the slightly eclectic look of mixing the elements, but you have to do that. There's a balance to it because if you can easily have a piece that's like, that sticks out like a sore thumb. That doesn't really go.
Right.
So, we put a lot of time into bringing elements together that have that eclectic nature to them.
Yeah, and it's not even just the designs that you choose. It's actually the line weight, the way you design them.
Exactly.
And there really is an art to it. And we do have those things in mind as we're thinking through it. How are these going to be used, and how can we make these more beautiful on a piece of furniture?
Exactly.
Okay. Next, this one is one that Josie and I are just absolutely giddy over. This does not do it justice, so I'm going to keep moving.
Summer Via. 8 sheets.
Look at that, you guys. Are you so excited? This is large enough for a full-size piece.
And if you'll notice the edges, we made sure that nothing was truncated so that if you have a piece that's a little larger, because we know there's so much variation in sizes of even buffets, dressers, what have you. If you have to use the whole thing and there is some margin around, you'll see it'll look vignetted. It won't look truncated because that's something that is kind of bothersome especially when you have, a design that's an inlay that, you want it to be intentional. You want it to fit the piece.
Exactly.
Totally. Oh, another thing, guys, we love about this is if you have a smaller piece, for example, we have one that we'll be applying this to that is it's probably 3.5 sheets wide. So you'll be able to take it larger than the piece, but
arrange
so
off the piece.
Exactly, so it can go off the piece. So picture those first 6 sheets and going just a little into the 7th. So it will cover the whole front of it, but the composition is such that you can, so your cowl, which is kind of the main focal point of this, will be, you can go to either side of it, particularly to the right, and it's kind of open, so you can have a lot of different compositions. There's flexibility in the composition.
Exactly. There's so much flexibility. But what the part that we're just so passionate about is one of the things that Josie and I have always loved is that classic, timeless muraling on pieces from the 1800s and the early 1900s, and how those pieces are so beautiful in French country interiors, in cottage interiors, in traditional interiors.
You're even seeing it a lot in like murals on furniture of this sort in modern interiors, mixing that up.
Right. And we have had this one in our hearts and minds for a long time, for years.
Millions of years.
Millions of years. And we've been so excited to bring it to you. So this is just going to be, and of course it is an inlay, which means it's paint, you guys. So this is sustainable. Over the long haul, it's going to be something that can be around for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So we're just so thrilled about that. Let's get to some samples.
See what we're saying?
See what we're saying?
Isn't that?
Does your heart just go pitter patter for that?
We've really been diving deep into the use of paint on furniture historically, because you're always going to find a foundation of classic things that work, no matter what era you're in. And it doesn't mean you do it exactly the same, but you definitely take cues from that to see what works from those who came, furniture artists really, that came before us. And you'll find a lot of stuff. I don't know if you guys ever check out like First Dibs, some of those auction sites where they have actual painted antiques that have truly painted antiques, you know.
Many times they're from the 1800s.
Yeah, and they're thousands
enormously
of dollars.
Expensive, unaffordable for most of us.
Yeah.
And these,
but it's exciting because
it is.
We can take the influence of that and bring it into pieces that we're creating now.
And a lot of the pieces that Josie and I are inspired by as we're planning the release, just coincidentally are pieces that are being auctioned for thousands and thousands of dollars. So we love being able to bring these to you so that you actually can have those pieces in your homes. Another example.
And what's cool is this piece is it's more primitive in its lines and in its paint finish.
Yeah.
But how beautiful does it still look, either on a primitive piece or the more refined piece with the molding. This inlay will be the first piece of furniture I do from this release for my home, probably my sunroom. I want a little buffet, a compact sideboard with the summer villa on it.
Oh, and by the way, because of what Josie was talking about earlier, how it's vignetted, you can repeat this and create a wall mural in your dining room with just a gorgeous effect. So it really actually creates the ability to have it on your walls as well.
I could totally see you doing above the chair rail.
Okay, you guys, we are moving into our mold. And I don't know, we just got a bee in our bonnet, no pun intended. Actually, there's no bee in here, so it's not really pun intended. But
a ladybird in our bonnet?
Ladybug, you mean?
Yeah. They're called ladybirds too.
What? I've never heard that. Ladybird?
Well, you learn something new every day.
I guess so. This beautiful mold is Dewdrop Pond. And all 3 of our molds are work beautifully together. So you'll kind of see where we're going with that. But as usual, we have our patented micro rim and the beautiful, deep, detailed cavities.
As well as your measure marks.
And this one is perfect for spring. We really went heavy on spring with our molds. And as usual, I mean, not to be braggy or anything, but every time we design things, all of a sudden, you know, I guess maybe it's that you're are thinking about it, so you're more aware of it. But I truly, like when we designed the lemons, next thing you know, everybody's using lemons. All the magazines are covered with lemons. Same thing with these designs. So these are trending. These are going to be huge with all age groups.
Yeah. That's the thing that's kind of extra fun and exciting about these molds is that they're going to, in fact, Sally, as we were working on samples and so forth, Sally said that her girls,
oh my gosh,
18, Abby and Olivia in particular.
And Phoebe.
Oh, and Phoebe.
And Phoebe, who's 14. So 14 to 21. 14, 18,
freaking out.
And 21, almost 22. Yeah, they are freaking out because they said, it was so funny. I have to tell you guys this. They're going to be mad at me for telling you this, but they said, Mom, you have to put these ones on TikTok and don't do anything dumb. Just show the product. Don't do anything ridiculous like you guys always do. So they're super excited about it. These designs are definitely trending with our youth. And here's the thing, you guys. Our youth, they are fully 100% immersed in handmade.
Well, and it's not even just our youth. It's like the generation just below us, up through early 30s, would you say?
I would say from early teens all the way through late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we already know because our community now is largely made up of our age to on. So that covers everybody.
Yeah.
But I just really love that our young people are getting so into making things. My girls are obsessed with making things. They're all of them are artistic, but the 3 older ones are really coming into their own with just the beautiful things that they're making, and I love seeing it.
And as we look at the different molds, these 3 molds, picture how they might be used combined to create scenes across drawers.
Yes.
Not only smalls and not only wall art, but also across drawers. We're super excited about it. Hidden hollow mold, again with all the features you've come to know and love with the IOD molds. And these are so fun. They're and when you see the positives of them, you'll see it'll be easier to see, but the really gnarly wood grain and the vines going up them, they're kind of like fairy doors, but they also will make awesome individual pieces of art. Come next year, next year Christmas, these will make amazing Christmas ornaments. So again, these are very flexible and on trend with much of the things that we're seeing.
If you Google or get on Pinterest and search fairy doors, oh my goodness, the most startling things come up. But one of the things that I saw that would just really lit me up were the journal covers. And I'll show you guys the one that I'm working on with the fairy door in the middle. But I noticed that Lynn Brundage from J Goods is into doing the journals with her community, and
the junk journals.
They're
darling.
And these would be just absolutely darling in that format. So let's just see a little bit of. There you go. There's the positives, so you guys can see. That's with air dry clay.
And the detail, even the texture on the brick.
Each individual rose is detailed. And we just pride ourselves on being the absolute very best in the market. So you're not going to find anything as beautiful and well detailed as our molds for any design that we come out with, because that is we do our research and we make sure we're the best.
I'm so excited for all of these. I can't wait to make stuff with them.
I know. So this was what I was talking about, Toadstool. These are more botanical in nature.
Yeah.
So they can be used for both darling and, charming, but also more sophisticated.
Yeah. I want to make a kitchen, a little mini gallery. I have a specific spot. I want to make a little mini gallery of three of the different mushroom varieties in just a neutral color. But couldn't you see these lined up on a drawer with watercolor tinted, maybe a little dripping down from them, a really kind of the boho.
Yes, 100%. That is darling. Okay, so
this is our Antiquities stamp. And you'll see there's a couple of really playful ones. The two on the far right, the stag in a tuxedo, the dog in a tuxedo and hat, and Miss Priss baking powder.
I love darling. Those are so fun.
We know how popular our crockery stamp was, and so we wanted to do something that you could use in very similar ways, but with completely different motifs, really fine detail, but things because decor smalls are a big deal in motifs that are stylish.
Yeah, and also we've had a lot of requests for new knob toppers.
Yes.
And so we included some of those in there as well.
Yeah, the kind of
it's like
medallion size ones.
Yeah.
And the detail on these, when we bring out the actual stamps, we'll look in close at it. You can see the different motifs and the detail.
Yeah. Look at that.
Isn't that fun?
Oh my goodness, how handsome is that stag?
That is one handsome stag. And you can tell, he's got the look in his eyes. He's like,
does,
ladies,
he knows.
Ladies, I've arrived.
He knows how handsome he is.
He came with the dog.
So you can see on a small piece.
Yeah, using it like a pattern. Is that fun?
And then some wall art. We just like to give you guys some visuals so you can see and start to get ideas. But as usual, we can't wait to see how you use them.
That's when it comes alive.
That's when it comes alive. That's when you guys just blow our minds. And it's just so much fun to kind of see your baby take root and take shape. And you guys take those designs and you take them further. And we just love seeing that. Okay.
Birds and bees.
You guys asked for bees.
Well, and birds.
Because the thing
that's
right.
Is like we have a bird here and there mixed in with different stamps and products.
Yeah.
But
this one's all birds and bees.
Yeah, birds and bees are both such a classic motif that you can mix with so many things that we're like, let's give them. We felt they were definitely worthy of their own stamp set.
Yes, and this has how many? 6
1,
bees?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bees.
6
and one
bees.
of them is like huge. That's a big bee.
And they're just all so beautiful.
Yeah.
And different kinds, different types of bees.
Yeah. And birds.
Yes.
So you'll be able to use them.
Josie,
and they're
won't let me forget the birds.
Facing different directions so that like you can incorporate them. Like say you're doing a dresser and you've got some florals going up the side and you want to position a bird kind of on each side facing in, you can do that.
You can see all of the detail.
Oh. And La Campagne, which means countryside. And this is a rustic, rural, countryside stamp set. And it is a 2-sheeter because for one thing, we had to have the rooster
and we couldn't decide on which design.
Rooster, and we wanted all the things for you guys to be able to mix in. Enough of the florals. You'll see there's like 3 main chunks of florals, but then you've got some little pieces as well as some dangling red currants and the strawberries so that you can create trailing arrangements with those.
Or a toile. This would make the most gorgeous toile.
Yes.
And these florals are maybe my favorite florals that we've ever done.
This aesthetic, I gotta say, it's one of my favorite aesthetics. The the rural countryside. When I say French country, a lot of times we get that blue and yellow kind of 80s, 90s. That was in kind of the 90s. That was really popular and done in a certain way. And it's cute, but French country as a design aesthetic goes back way beyond that and looked quite different, not quite as 90s.
Authentic French country.
Authentic French country. And those motifs will never go out of style.
It's one of those styles that gets reinvented every time it comes around, and it looks a little bit different each time, but it definitely has its roots in history.
Yeah. And these are actual, as many, if not most of our designs, these are actual drawings from like the late 1700s.
Is that a guinea hen, would you say?
No, that's a hen. Just a hen.
Just a hen?
Yeah.
She's so cute.
She is cute. And there's one with little chicks too.
Yeah. Oh, we moved
and
right
we are
along.
Into the transfers.
Okay.
So Bungalow.
Bungalow.
We went a little wild.
We got a little crazy with this one. And the inspiration was just a more sophisticated, tropical feel. And again, after we designed it, we started seeing this motif, the tropical motif, in high-end magazines, which just affirmed that we were going in the right direction, that this is something that is going to be trending.
And one of the things that we've been noticing about the motif, this kind of vibe, it's using, and the ones that are my favorite, using classic pieces, but with just a touch of whimsy by the things that are chosen in it, a little bit fantastical. So like, for example, your cheetah and your monkey in there, and mixing the roses with the tropical greens. Mixing it up for a little bit of eclectic and a little, whimsy is probably not the right word, playful. I think a playful.
Almost like it almost to
quirk.
Me has a British tropical feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's just a little more sophisticated.
So these are 8 sheets. There you go. And here's something we did on this, guys. We want you to know this is really important. These are laid out so that every single sheet is unto itself a composition. However, it is a continual design. So we'll show all of it together for you. So it makes it easy for you to use them individually. You've got a focal point in your composition for every sheet.
There's a beautiful example of a sophisticated piece of wall art using a single sheet.
Exactly. But then you put them together as they're laid out, and the composition's beautiful. In fact, I found like these are really almost really effective. You'll see like on this piece, it goes halfway up. Halfway up a piece, or even a third of the way up a piece, is really effective composition wise, especially when you have something that is so graphic intense. There's a lot of beautiful going on there. And that's one of, this would definitely fit with a maximalist vibe, but as well as a traditional. So
these birds are the most beautifully sophisticated vintage birds I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you will see them when you see them in person. It just, it's a different.
Yeah. The vintage art in general tends to have an element and a look to it that you cannot reproduce with modern licensed art. And so we're always so thrilled when we find original pieces to use in the designs. Now, something that you guys might want to note is, do you remember how popular Midnight Garden was? We believe that part of the reason and part of what made that popular was the eclectic mix in there. You had, of course, your bird and that exotic bird, but then also the types of foliage that we mixed together. It definitely had that eclectic look that you are going to see in the Bungalow. Again, isn't that so? We have this is like a 2/3 composition that looks really, really good. This is one of Ildeco's pieces. Isn't it beautiful?
It is.
You can always see her stuff, recognize it by her staging and lighting.
She does a magnificent job staging. Okay.
And Millot's
pages.
So this is an 8-sheeter, 12 by 16, and every sheet is a full page from the French encyclopedia. It's an iconic French encyclopedia set with a particular illustrator that made these gorgeous Millot, these gorgeous botanical and natural history illustrations.
Each one hand painted and
yes,
detailed piece of art. My girls are obsessed with these. These are another one that they are just absolutely obsessed with.
Yes. What's cool about these two is you'll see one of the examples we show. We used it in the back of a piece of furniture, but they're also, obviously, you can cut them apart and they would work fabulously with your tiny frames as little subjects for your tiny frames. How fun will that be?
Yes.
I'm a fan of insects and fish and those type of things mixed in. In fact, I recently saw an entire gallery of beetles.
Ooh.
And it looked it was clever, but it also looked really sophisticated. It was very, a grid setup.
Yeah.
All the same size, each with their own beetle in it.
These beautiful full color florals are just gorgeous too.
And do you notice another thing about the way he laid out his illustrations? Because these are laid out just exactly as he laid them out, is there's a symmetry. Like take, for example, the beetles. There's a symmetry and a flow to the way he arranged all the beetles. That's just beautiful. It's not random. It's not just stacked and put in where they could fit.
Yeah.
There's a flow to it. And that's so indicative of the times when they spent so much time and poured so much of themselves into these illustrations.
In the last two. Beautiful fruits, beautiful veggies. As you guys know, those are so incredibly versatile.
Yes. Again, the botanicals are always going to be. Here's the example we were talking about. How fun is that for the background? So, you don't have, because there's a lot going on that's graphic intense there, putting that back in the background works really well, or using pieces of it here and there.
But it looks so good together.
Yeah.
Mixed together, the different designs, the eggs and the veggies and the fruits and the flowers all together just beautifully.
This is one of my favorites. Again, this is
Ildico?
Ildico's, yes. Yeah. And I love this. This is a 2/3 composition, and I feel like it succeeds when you have some of that blank space to rest your eye, when you have something really graphic in there. I love that one.
And I love it against that beautiful tomato red. So
it's gorgeous. And we're talking about the
now
tiny
you
frames.
Can see a close-up of how detailed those florals are. Blown up, you can see all that gorgeous detail and shadowing and just the art. Okay, and I think that is it. Okay, so we will move quickly because we have shown you guys so much already, but there's just something about seeing it. I don't know. It's still on a screen, but we can show you. Look at the artichokes. Look at that, just beautiful. The nice strawberries.
The detail, just put my hand in there for a reference. The detail.
Yes, and the size. Okay, I'm gonna have to move it along. I'm just taking, it's hard not to because each one is so beautiful that you don't want to rush it, but
we have an example on that one.
This one is full-size sheet. And you can just imagine just the versatility of this piece and what you could put in the middle. And this would be gorgeous on a piece of furniture. Just picture this as the center of the piece of furniture. And then you just create this beautiful floral flow out from there. I mean, I can just visualize that being stunning on a piece of furniture. Okay, 100%. So Josie.
So here's one we did and we inlaid it just onto a board for example.
Mhm.
But then went in and tinted it with watercolor. And here's what we discovered in that process. It's really easy to do without worrying about moving your pigment if you don't want to. If you want to, you're just going to work it a little more and use friction with your watercolor. But we found it worked fabulously, just fabulously.
And so much fun to add some color to it.
Yes.
Look at this sunflower. Again, just look at it compared to my hand. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I think this one is hard to really get the magnitude of on camera. This is just one piece it's like a full sheet and then most of a sheet on one board. So you can just see again the amount of detail, every leaf. And then
yeah, this is like,
cow.
I would say 2 by 2.5 maybe, this board.
Yeah.
For scale.
Yeah. So just a large, gorgeous mural. There we go. Look at that fern. That fern alone is so fun. Love the way you did the curl up there. That's so cool.
And a little newt.
Okay.
Little newt.
So you saw the picture of the air dry clay with the fairy doors. These are some, I have to tell you, I underfilled because I ran out of the resin for this one, but it worked, so I pulled it anyway.
And if you were doing, like you say, your journal cover and you wanted a little thinner, once you glue that down.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that because Phoebe was with me and she said, actually, it looks good when you put it being a little thinner there.
Yeah.
Because it actually showed through a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was,
so it's forgiving.
It is. And then I'm making my journal, little fairy door journal here. So you can see just all that detail. Look at how cute that looks, all the wood.
It is. I'd have to say, I'd have a hard time picking a favorite, but I think it's this one.
Yeah, that one is my favorite too.
Little roses.
Because you see all the little roses.
Yeah.
And then this one's ivy.
And there's berries too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's some positives of the mushrooms.
Aren't those fun?
So fun.
Again, with the detail.
Yeah, I like this one. Again, I underfilled this one, but you can get the beautiful just dimension of the under. I like that you see
the gills.
Yeah, and you see even the detail of that is in there. So beautiful.
On many of them, we have, when you pull a mushroom out of the ground, it's got an irregular, it's not roots, but little fibers that grab the dirt. And so many of them have that on them instead of a cut off.
So you can see Mr. Stag.
Yeah, again, a 12 by 12, you automatically have some reference for scale, but.
Birds and bees. There we go. Look how large this bee is.
That's one big bee. I wouldn't want to meet that bee in my garden.
An African bee.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Well, the African killer bees aren't actually that large.
Well, why do they call them killer bees?
Because they can kill you.
Look at these, you guys. Look at this rooster.
Isn't he handsome?
We were committed to this.
He's handsome.
Ginormous rooster.
He's handsome and he's giving somebody the business, as you can see. Which, if any of you guys have hens and a rooster, it's so true. That's their job.
So Josie actually had a rooster that was so mean. Every time we came over, the kids would make me carry them to the house because he would peck at us as we would get into the house. And she named him after a friend of theirs that is particularly feisty. So I can't say who it is. But so yeah.
This. That rich, vibrant color.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say, I'm looking forward to seeing this done in a antique finish, an antique finished, toned with either glazes or dark waxes, because you can get such beautiful results even on your really bright, vibrant designs with this. Don't you love this, you guys? It's got such a playful, it's obviously, you know, it's got the sophisticated aesthetic that, like Sal said, we've seen in interiors and on trend, but with a playful, you know, playful arrangement.
I love these vintage parrots.
I know. I love these particular citrus. I love, there's 2 in the set, I believe, in different scenes. They just look so vintage as opposed to the, you know, more round ones. Isn't this beautiful?
And the roses really do add just a really whimsical but sophisticated feel to it. I know, the monkeys and the babies.
Here's our cheetah. He came from one of the prints we bought on Portobello Road. He looks like he's out on the hunt. And again, this, I think that he saw the cheetah. You can see the fear in his eyes. Isn't he darling? Isn't he darling?
Ooh.
And a second cheetah coming in from the other direction.
Imagine them flanking the dresser.
I don't know, have any of you
piece,
noticed
like
in some of the design out there or the interiors that the creeping cats is a thing. And so this is a fun thing that you'll probably start noticing, creeping cats in various artistic compositions.
We'll do a little stamping.
Thin note.
All right. Looks like he's pooping a flower if I leave it. I'll take that off. This is our China Blue ink.
I know some of you are chicken people.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
look at that. He's so beautiful. Look at you guys. So pretty.
I love him.
All right, you guys, so there we have it. Are you as excited as we are? Because our favorite part is when you guys take these products and you make them your own and you make beautiful things that we never could have imagined with them.
Yes.
So
that's when they come alive.
yes.
So
Get to making.
Get with your stockists.
Yes.
Let them know what you want. Get it. Start sharing with all of us all the gorgeous things you make.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, because that's where all of the tutorials for all of these products are going to live.
Yes.
So make sure you don't miss anything. All right, you guys, enjoy your week. Bye. Mwah.